Friendships and relationships are the threads that weave meaning, love, and connection into our lives. Yet so many of us unknowingly adopt beliefs that sabotage the very bonds we want to protect. What we believe shapes the way we see others, the way we respond to challenges, and the way we treat people who matter to us. Some beliefs empower growth, trust, and respect, while others plant seeds of resentment, insecurity, and disappointment. The danger lies in the fact that many of these destructive beliefs feel normal or even justified. But over time, they erode intimacy and create distance. If you've ever wondered why certain relationships keep falling apart, or why friendships don't last, it may not be about luck, but about the mindsets you carry with you. Let's explore 9 beliefs that, if left unchecked, will ruin your friendships and relationships, and how recognizing them can be the first step to building healthier and lasting bonds. The first belief is the idea that people should think, act, and feel exactly as you do. Expecting others to mirror your thoughts or values creates an unrealistic standard that no one can live up to. Every person comes with their own background, personality, and worldview. When you cling to the belief that a true friend or partner should always agree with you or see life your way, you set yourself up for constant disappointment. Relationships thrive on diversity, not uniformity. Having different perspectives is what allows people to learn from each other, challenge blind spots, and grow. Insisting on sameness suffocates connection because it turns love or friendship into a test of loyalty rather than a space for authenticity. The second belief that ruins relationships is thinking that love or friendship should be effortless all the time. Movies and social media often glorify the idea that if it's meant to be, it will feel easy, smooth, and natural. While there are moments of ease, every genuine connection also requires effort, compromise, and patience. Believing that relationships should never involve conflict, work, or sacrifice leads people to give up at the first sign of difficulty. Friendships demand listening, forgiving, and showing up even when it's inconvenient. Partnerships demand honest conversations, resilience during hard times, and shared responsibility. When you cling to the illusion that meaningful relationships should always feel light and easy, you miss out on the deeper satisfaction that comes from working through struggles together. The third destructive belief is that vulnerability equals weakness. Many people hold on to the notion that opening up, admitting fears, or expressing needs will make them appear needy, fragile, or less independent. This belief shuts down intimacy before it even begins. Friendships and romantic connections rely on trust, and trust grows when people allow each other to see beyond the polished surface. When you refuse to be vulnerable, your relationships remain shallow, and people around you may feel like they can never truly know you. Vulnerability is not weakness, it is courage in its rawest form. By hiding behind emotional walls, you rob yourself of the closeness and understanding that make relationships worthwhile. The fourth toxic belief is that forgiveness means weakness or betrayal of self. Holding on to grudges may feel like self-protection, but in reality, it keeps bitterness alive and blocks healing. In friendships and relationships, mistakes are inevitable. People will disappoint, miscommunicate, or hurt unintentionally. If you believe that forgiving someone makes you look soft or allows them to walk over you, you create a cycle of resentment that eventually suffocates love. Forgiveness doesn't mean erasing what happened or tolerating abuse. It means releasing the grip of anger so the relationship has a chance to rebuild. Believing that forgiveness is weakness prevents you from experiencing the depth and resilience of real connection. The fifth belief is that others are responsible for your happiness. Many people unconsciously expect friends or partners to fill emotional voids, fix insecurities, or constantly provide validation. This belief places an unbearable burden on relationships because no one can be the sole source of your joy. Depending entirely on another person for fulfillment creates pressure that often drives them away. True connection comes when two whole individuals share happiness, not when one person expects the other to be a savior. Placing your emotional well-being entirely in someone else's hands ensures constant disappointment and often destroys the balance in a relationship. The sixth damaging belief is that conflict is always a sign of failure. Many believe that arguing or disagreeing means the relationship is broken, when in reality, conflict is a natural part of human connection. It's not conflict itself that ruins relationships, but the way it's handled. Believing that healthy friendships or love stories should be free of arguments makes people run at the first sign of tension. What truly matters is whether disagreements are approached with respect, openness, and a willingness to find common ground. Avoiding conflict altogether leads to suppression of feelings, unspoken resentment, and eventual emotional distance. Conflict, when handled constructively, can actually strengthen a bond by creating deeper understanding and mutual respect. The seventh belief that sabotages relationships is equating control with love. Some people believe that if you love someone deeply, you have the right to control their choices, friendships, or lifestyle. This mindset may disguise itself as protection or care, but in truth, it's rooted in insecurity and fear. Friendships and romantic relationships thrive in freedom, not control. When you try to dictate another person's actions, you strip them of autonomy and create power struggles that suffocate the bond. True love and friendship are not about ownership, but about allowing each other the space to grow as individuals while still choosing to walk side by side. The eighth destructive belief is that people should somehow just know what you want without you having to say it. This assumption sets relationships up for failure because it ignores the fact that no one can read minds. Friends and partners may be attentive, but they cannot guess your every need, fear, or expectation. Believing that if someone truly cares, they will automatically understand you without communication is unfair and unrealistic. It places the responsibility entirely on them while excusing your own silence. Healthy relationships are built on open dialogue, where needs and boundaries are expressed clearly. Expecting others to magically know creates constant misunderstandings, frustration, and unmet expectations. The ninth belief that ruins relationships is that people owe you loyalty no matter what. Loyalty is important, but it is not unconditional when respect, effort, or reciprocity are absent. Some people believe that once they've known someone for years or once love is declared, the other person is bound to stay regardless of how they are treated. This belief leads to taking relationships for granted and neglecting the effort that keeps bonds alive. Loyalty should not be blind. It should be mutual, built on respect, appreciation, and genuine care. Believing that others must stay by your side no matter how you act creates entitlement and drives people away rather than drawing them closer. These 9 beliefs may seem subtle, but they are powerful enough to quietly dismantle even the strongest friendships and relationships over time. They create unrealistic expectations, foster resentment, and block the growth that every connection needs. Recognizing them is not about blaming yourself, but about becoming aware of how deeply mindset shapes the way you love and connect. When you replace these toxic beliefs with healthier ones, accepting differences, embracing vulnerability, forgiving with wisdom, taking responsibility for your own happiness, respecting freedom, communicating openly, and appreciating loyalty, you create space for relationships to flourish. Friendships and love don't need perfection, but they do need awareness, effort, and beliefs that nourish rather than destroy. The way you think about connection becomes the blueprint for the kind of bonds you build, and shifting your beliefs may be the single most powerful step you take toward keeping the people you cherish close.